Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to Ignite Your Wow. Today, I have a really special guest, and you will definitely see why I think he wows. But first, we have two sponsors today. First is Blue Sky Video Productions for all your YouTube strategy, live streaming. He's a producer of this show. He is simply amazing, and I'm going to bring him on real quick and see if he has any information or any tips for us today.
I do, and here you go. I had my notes. So basically, I was listening to some YouTube strategists yesterday who's actually writing a book. And one of the biggest things you want to do when doing video, or even actually anything as far as reaching an audience, is to do research and recon to find your audience, to see where they are, where they hang out, and how to reach them. So that's the tip.
Thank you so much.
And who else are we sponsored by?
By Cards That Wow. I like to help you stand out with your clients. And when they open a card from me, they actually say, wow. So our guest today is very inspirational to me. I had this big, long introduction about him, but I'm going to say this because this is like him in a nutshell. It's claim the blame, ignore the pain, take new aim, and never do the same again. I'd like to introduce to you Joachim, and I'm not going to say his last name. I'm going to let him say his last name because I'll mess it up.
Howdy from hell in Norway, paradise on earth. And my name is it's Joachim Buarø. So you can have a go, but you don't have to.
No, I don't want to massacre it. So yeah. You are from hell, which is paradise on earth. Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's a very nice place. It's in the middle of Norway, and I moved here in 2005. So I like to brag about my family being from hell. My wife is from hell. My kids are from hell, and of course, my mother-in-law is from hell. So it's it's quite a place.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's wintertime now, so I can definitely say hell has frozen over.
You're not short any jokes, are you?
No, it's not a joke. It's just a fact. So yeah.
Oh, there we go. We have a little map.
Okay, that's you see hell more or less in the middle there.
Yep. Wow.
So it's close to an airport. So it's basically why I like to live here, because I used to travel probably 120 days a year. Mm-hmm. So I can walk to the airport. It's like 2 kilometers away.
Oh, nice.
And it's perfect. But then, yeah.
So tell everybody what you do. I know that you make sustainable food production at sea, and you're able to do that all over the world.
Yeah. So it's in my education is I have a master's degree in marine technology. So I can design and engineer systems for floating production of any type of food at sea. But in addition to that, I also have a quite creative mind. So any type of challenge you have at sea, I will help you. And it's not just engineering. I will give you advice. And I've been working with it since I was a kid. So I'm brainwashed into this. It's my life.
So did somebody in your family, or did you follow somebody's footsteps as a career, or is this something you just decided I want to do from the beginning?
Well, I used to work at fish farms that my father co-owned, feeding fish and like working at sea from I was 8 years old. But then when I was 13, that company went bankrupt because they got some disease. That was like in 87. And for me, it was never fulfilling just doing the labor, feeding the fish, because I was just too inquisitive, too curious to see how everything was working. So I decided in a young age, I want a master's degree in marine technology because I want to really understand this. So as I said, I was brainwashed early, and this is where I ended up. So it's perfect. I really love it.
Well, you love it, and you're awesome. You're awesome at it, obviously, because you're making a living, and probably a very good living, and your family. You have time with your family now, right? I mean,
yeah,
you've got like the best of all worlds. You live in hell, but you live in paradise.
Yeah, I do, and it's great. I've been doing it all over the world. I say that because I've been all over the world to help people, and I'm trying now to use internet more to do the same. But it's a bit of a challenge, but that's just what life is. It's great with challenges. So, yep.
So do you mean that you have appointments through Zoom or, meetings like that to help people, and like where you would normally fly and give them a consult, you just do it over like a platform like this?
Yeah, I use a lot Microsoft Teams. It's I was kind of brought into that when I was working in a Canadian company. So we started using Teams. So I'm very used to it. I've been using Zoom too, but it's a habit. So, but also trying to reach out on LinkedIn or Facebook. So it's a lot of platforms. I'm now in Clubhouse, but I'm not really sure if it works. We'll see.
It's Clubhouse is an interesting beast, and you have to be strategic and know what you want to get out of it, and not just go down rabbit holes. That's what I've learned, because I went down the 2-day rabbit hole. So, but we're not going to talk about that.
No, I think it's So
no, go ahead.
No, it's the same with what I've been using, and I'm trying to wow people. It's much more in the personal development to try to show that you can stay positive, you can be positive, no matter if you have some disadvantages in your everyday work and life. So that's my trying to influence going live and stuff like that. It's nothing to do with my professional work.
Right. That's what I wanted to get into next, is like, you're probably one of the most positive people I've ever met. And so you do the videos. Is that your way to motivate people? And is that how you're...
It's also to motivate myself. I mean, when I start live in the morning, if I don't, people start asking, why didn't you go live? And we were missing you. And then I have to do it. And in order to do it right, I have to be outside running, doing it, because that's how I did it. Well, I've been running or doing a morning routine with training probably for 20 years or something. So it's a habit, but it's a very good kind of motivation to have that extra going live thing. And I did my first live broadcast, I think around the 1st of June, because it was in a mental wealth challenge with Joe Soto and White Woodsmall. So that was a task to go live, and I ran through hell and did a live, and I was very nervous, very hard for me to do, but now I'm getting very used to it. So it's very good. I like it. It also, I have to kind of think up something to talk about during my couple of minutes live. So it's great. I love it.
No, I'm telling you, I watch it, and when you were, was it snowing yesterday or the day before when you were?
It's been snowing the last couple of days.
No, but you were out, and it was like there was wind blowing.
That was this morning. I think it was the worst for that.
Okay,
so,
okay, if he can do that, I can.
Oh yeah, it's yesterday for you. It's morning. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's this morning for me, but it was yesterday for you. Yeah, that's right.
Yes. So I know this is all crazy. So I thought, well, if he can do that, I mean, you actually motivated me, because I don't wake up early or try to wake up early. I have 3 pugs, and I walk them each separately so I can get some steps in. And if the weather is just a little bit inclement, I'm like, oh, wait, no, can't do that. But you know what? I've been walking in the rain now, and so you have motivated me. So that's how you wow me.
That's very good. No, that's why that's my intention, because it's I'm not saying that you have to do it in the mornings, but it works for me very good in the mornings, and it gives me a very positive energy and a great start of the day. So I have a routine in the morning, so I'm up fairly early, but it's working great for me. And that's why I'm trying to say to people, go outside and enjoy fresh air. That's
well, and that was the thing this morning. I mean, it wasn't raining today, but it was like 45, which I know that's not very cold for you, but when I just kind of stood there for a bit, and then just took a big deep breath in, and it just felt so good in my lungs. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, I mean, that was really a pivotal thing for me. I'm like, okay, I like this. So
and it's air. I think it's I'm fascinated by the extremes in this, because you can be in a sauna, and if you take a deep breath in a sauna, you can feel that you get some kind of a burn. If you're outside in minus 10 degrees Celsius, which is probably about 10 degrees Fahrenheit or something, and you do the same, you will freeze. It will, your insides will start freezing, and it's more or less the same feeling, but it's awakening.
Yeah, it did. It was really, it felt good, you know?
Yeah.
So do you use a Fitbit or anything, or
I have my Apple Watch.
Okay, so we need to find out if Randy Chafee has an Apple Watch. It says because Randy he wears out shoes like weekly, and I'd like to get the two of you together and do a walk off, like a week challenge. Would you do that?
Well, yeah, I could probably do that. It's good. Yeah, I have plenty of distance I can walk, so that's fine. I normally do the morning for me is normally I call it morning walks, but I do jog because I started. You were asking me previous, but I was very heavy, so I started walking in the mornings. That was kind of the start of my routine, and now I'm not running. I will not brag and say I'm running, but I'm jogging. Nice. But when I do the live videos, I tend to start walk because I also will be very bouncing and stuff. Right. So
if I did a live while I was running, it'd be
that's it. Yeah, but it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me who as like what authors inspire you?
Well, it started with Dale Carnegie, I would say, because I moved to Chile in 2001, and I was introduced to my general manager down there. He was a very good guy and became a good friend, and he introduced how to win friends and influence people. Mm-hmm. And that really started me on a path, because in my education, there's been no kind of focus on trying to think about how to talk to people. It's just extremely technological education. Mm-hmm. And then I was supposed to start selling these things. And I think I mentioned it before. It's like when you have an education, you tend to feel I know everything. There is nothing I can't do here. And right. Then I met this guy, and he was like, calm down. This is not how to do it. So he recommended that book, and after that I bought the Sales Bible from Jeffrey Biedermeier. And after that, he just
any person I've talked to that has an inkling of sales in their blood has and read that book.
Yeah, and that was probably in 2002 I bought that. Mm-hmm. And then of course he came with his Little Red Book of Selling.
I love that one.
The first edition. And after that, I was just sold. So I have followed him a lot. And then after I probably started following his lives, not the first day, but maybe the 18th or 19th of March last mm-hmm. year. And then he started talking about, he had Orson Swett Marden a lot in the Get Shit Done book. Mm-hmm. So I have the Get Shit Done book, but then I also started to look for books from Orson Swett Marden, and following Jeffrey, he said you need to buy old ones.
Right.
So I think I have two from Orson Swett Marden, one from 1919 and one from 1922. So it's just holding these books, and it's just an inspiration, just the book itself. And then of course I was introduced to Samuel Smiles again by Jeffrey. Mm-hmm. And then I got a very good example of the self-help book. It's from 1872 or something, and it's crazy. It's beautiful.
Oh, that is beautiful.
And it's from the King's College in London, so it's been given as a prize to a student. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh wow!
So and it's like new. The whole book is like it's a new book. It's so solid and everything. So part of the inspiration for me is start Googling this guy that got it as a prize, but then I'm reading. This is the second read through for me, because I'm using these 4 books a lot, and yeah, it's just amazing. I'm amazed that if I talk to people in Norway, they don't know Samuel Smiles at all. They don't, and anything like self-help and stuff like that is very besides what we're focusing on. So,
right.
But I'm really grateful to Jeffrey about like introducing these authors, because it's just, yeah, I use that also in the morning, so it just really sets my day. And mm-hmm. then I read it, and then I write my comments about it, how to use it and try to implement it in my days. And it's yeah, so it's just amazing. Yeah,
I think it's a big lesson we've all learned through this is, we can read all these great books and be inspired, but if you don't take action, It wasn't worth it. And that's another thing that Jeffrey has taught us. And there's a lot of people I think that are grateful for him because he's opened our eyes to doing things differently. And I mean, I had to change my whole work process. So what do you think is your biggest wow?
My biggest wow is probably I'm sharing a lot. I'm very open. I don't hold back, and that's because it gives me a lot. Giving and receiving feedback that actually this is positive for everyone or anyone listening. That's wow for me. And I've had the same doing presentations professionally because I'm like Jeffrey. I'm the best at what I do. I know I'm the best, and when I do presentations, it comes through. You can ask me anything, and I can actually give you fairly good answers to whatever it takes to do this stuff. And that makes it so comfortable for me because I don't need to spend time preparing slides. I normally just prepare some photos, some nice photos from sites. And I can choose if it's a short presentation, I can spend 15 minutes talking using one photo. If it's 2 hours, I can spend 2 hours talking about the same photo. And it's just, and I can see and also again the feedback from the audience that's a wow for me. So yeah. And this is actually quite good because I was invited to do, or no, I was not invited. I was told to do by my boss in 2008. We were having an exhibition in Canada, and he said, "Oh, by the way, you are participating in Aquaculture Idol 2008." I'm like, "What's that?" Well, you have to do a presentation, and it's according to this World Idol kind of concept. So I nailed it. I won. And what I did was I rented a guitar. So I did my whole, which is a boring aquaculture presentation with a guitar. And I had the prize. It's a good, so that was kind of the start for me to make my presentations different. And I just love it. So
I know nothing about that field, but I would have listened to that whole presentation.
Yeah, you probably would, and then you would learn some, but you would also have some fun. That was
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The quote. Wait, George had a question. Ask him how many groups he's joined within the last 6 months. Oh, how many groups have you joined in the last 6 months?
Not that many, because I try to be a bit picky. You mean in Facebook, I guess?
Just I think challenges. Yeah, most of our groups we found out about.
Because I did the mental wealth challenge, and then I did the Joe Soda had a 4-week or something or 20 days build up on that. Like I don't remember the name, but that was advanced mental wealth or something. And then the Insiders Club I'm in, and then Team 17 because I got the 17 book or book. as Michael Heppel says, book. And,
so you got one of the signed ones?
Yeah.
And
it's just,
I think they're excellent. All signed, huh? Because you only printed a small amount of them.
1,000, I think so.
Yeah.
And I joined that, and also the something brilliant. He has a group with let me see what I'm going there.
How to be brilliant.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So I'm quite, and I made my own. I made the Howdy from Hell group. So because I feel going live, I was a bit unsure how much kind of spamming I'm doing on all these groups. So I made my own Howdy from Hell group on Facebook to kind of do most of my live on Facebook. So
can anybody join that, or is that a private group?
It's a private group, but if you message me, I'll invite you.
Sounds like it'd be pretty motivational place to be.
And the reason I'm not going very public with my lives, because most of my friends are Norwegians, and Facebook Live is not very very common to do in Norway. So and I don't know, it would probably be frowned upon. There you go.
There it is.
So that photo I took because I wanted to show this is really hell. So it's double up. You have the sign beside the road. So you have the bridge over to hell, and then you have that mountain kind of hell thing is like the Hollywood sign. So it's you can't see it, but there is a Santa standing there now.
So I would like to dissect the quote that I started our show with.
Oh yeah, yep.
So first of all, claim the blame.
Yep. It's just I mean, it's again back to my education. You're told you should never make a mistake. You're not supposed to make a mistake, and I think you should, because if you're afraid of making mistakes, you will just be standing at one position. You won't move, and you have to move. You have to develop. You have to create. So claim the blame. Take responsibility. Ignore the pain, because you will have some pain. There will be some shame. That's always. They will blame you and they will say, "Look, what did you do?" And say, "Yeah, I'm thanking you for pointing it out. I will do my best to take new aim, as I said, and I will never do the same again. So I will learn from my mistake and develop further. And the next time I deliver, it's better."
And what made you first have that thought? Like, where did that begin? Was that from a child, something you learned in college, something in professional life?
Oh, you mean the saying itself?
Yeah, you're saying.
It was based on, I think Jeffrey had on one of his lives, he had all these 3-word sayings. So I started to kind of, what can I do? You have just do it, of course, which is Nike, but you do kind of always be creative. And then I got into the groove, and suddenly this was just, okay, that's it. Because I'm also trying to make the words kind of rhyme. So it's not a poem, but it's a saying that's easy to, it has some flow to it.
It's
So,
snappy. It's
yeah,
very
it's a
catchy.
bit long. I feel it's a bit long, but it
Mm-mm.
gives me, it gives meaning.
So another book I was going to ask you about, it's a hot topic on Clubhouse, is Outwitting the Devil. Have you read that one by Earl Nightingale?
No, that I
Okay.
haven't. I've been listening to Earl Nightingale a lot on the Strangest Secret, because
Yeah.
when I actually can go to the office, I go from Hell Station to Trondheim, which is a bigger city,
Mhm.
and it's about 32 minutes. So I can do one hear through on Strangest Secret. So I always do that. I start just before going onto the train. I have Earl Nightingale on Spotify. So I listen to the Strangest Secret, and when I then get to the station and go off, I enjoy like a walk for 10 minutes to the office, so I can digest that day's Strangest Secret, because it's always different. There's always new parts of Strangest Secret that kind of stuck to the mind, and he is amazing. I just today I listened to the 5 first parts of Direct Line on YouTube also while
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I love him. I haven't read any of his books. So
Okay. So want to talk about your family?
yeah,
How they wow you?
yeah, they wow me all the time. I have a lovely wife and I have 3 wonderful kids. So the oldest, she will be 13. In between there is a boy. He's 11, and then I have my youngest. She will be 10 later this year. So it's the wild bunch.
You have a busy household.
And yeah, fortunately, I'm very, very, very spoiled with my wife. So she's a teacher, and she has adapted to. We agreed early on that while I would be like the main provider, so I'm traveling a lot, and she has adapted to that. So I'm just spoiled, and I like it, because for me, like now I'm in our house. It's not a big house, but it has 2 floors. So my workspace is in the first floor, and they all stay on the second floor. They have homeschooling now, so it's
Oh.
yeah. But it's great. No, I love it, and being, especially for weekends, because I tend to spend a lot of time working workdays by choice, because I work both on myself and the work at the same time. So weekends, that's mostly dedicated to the family, and we go outside. Like on Saturday, I did a live from going skating with them.
Oh, fun. I was going to say, what do you do for fun?
For fun, I read books. I'm sorry to say.
You have to apologize for that.
Yeah, or I can watch documentaries. I really love watching documentaries. I used to be a movie geek, so I watched everything on the movies. But After Jeffrey said, "Don't waste your time on movies. You should get facts instead," I started watching documentaries. I'm trying to binge some documentaries, and they really help me. There's a lot of interesting facts to be learned, and you can use. I can combine them with my existing knowledge. So I love it. I do a lot of reading.
I need to thank Phil. It's Napoleon Hill that wrote Outwitting the Devil. I totally messed that up. So thank you, Phil. Yep. Okay, what's in the future for you? What do you see in the next 3-5 years?
Well, I will continue in the same. I think it will be less travel because based on the experience with working much more from home, it works. It is challenging because part of what I need to know when I want to develop further, like new technology and methods, I need to see what they're doing at sea. I need to see, because I have a fairly keen eye, special eye to observe things that when people do their job, they are too much into their job to actually see if there is any ideas for solutions. So I need to travel, and that's lacking for me right now. But other than that, I will continue with this, and it's especially with this going live, it has developed my self-confidence humongously, and I will probably try to engage more in helping people because I feel I have a lot of value to give by being positive. But I don't foresee myself as a kind of a professional coach. I don't think that it is it, because I love my existing work too much. It's just yeah, but it's fun. I like this. Yeah. And
so your career is your cupcake, and the frosting is your motivation and helping people. Yeah. It's an enhancement to your life.
Yep.
Oh, George wants to know, where is your hat?
Well, it was wet this morning, so it's drying. And I'm not going to do a Yoda impersonation now.
Oh, well, we were looking forward to that.
No, I don't know that. No.
So, let's see. I think that's all my questions. What I like to do is let my guest, have the last few minutes. Then that's the George Scott words to live by. You should make a little box, like a meme thing, and post it all over, because it's great, great advice. But I'd like you to have the last few minutes to any message you want to give out, any inspiration, any wow.
Well, I would say the biggest, easiest wow would be to listen to Jeffrey's Facebook Live every day. That's a huge wow. Mm-hmm. And then you should consider joining a group. The Insiders Club is very good. I also really like Team 17 with Michael Heppel, mm-hmm. but I think it's filled up with 100 people. So, and also for me, Team 17 is a bit easier with the time difference, right? Because it's in the UK. But I would say follow Jeffrey Gitomer, and also if you can, find some of the broadcasts from Joe Soto and learn from that guy, and Wyatt Woodsmall. It's genius. So it really helped me, definitely helped me a lot. And it's the NLP thing with Wyatt Woodsmall is just, I haven't gone in depth, but it still just amazes me how much you can actually do with yourself. And that's the thing. I've said it, if you want to become something, just be it, just act on it. Mm-hmm. So read stuff, digest it, write it, and just act on it, do it.
Perfect. Well, I thank you so much for being my guest from hell. Sorry.
Thank you for having me here. It's been grateful. It's been really good. Yeah.
No, this has been fun, and I appreciate your time. And you do wow me. You are one of my wow people.
Yeah, but you wow too with your cards and everything. So it's
well, I'll be sending you some, because you get them as a gift, but they probably take longer to get there than when I mailed them in the United States. So
okay, yeah,
you'll be receiving them as a thank you for being on my show. Again, everybody, thanks for watching, and thank you, Blue Sky Video Productions, for this wonderfully produced show. And Cards That Wow, if you want to make a standing impression and stand out from your competition, send a card that wows, because they really say wow. Just a little plug for my friend Randy. Oh yeah, subscribe and share. I always forget to say subscribe. If you like what you heard today, please subscribe and share it out. And if you watch this after it's gone live, please put #replay in the comments and let me know what you thought. A little plug for my friend Randy Chafee. He's got a show coming up right after me, and at 9 o'clock. Okay, I thought that was the show. So you don't want to miss his show either. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day and evening for you, Joachim.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.